to the surprise of a lot of people, and for good reason, because, well, not that Fresh is a bad team, but let's be honest, not a lot of people expected them to be the first ones. Sync Esports and, of course, Bad Monkey Gaming, two of the top teams that maybe people were looking at, but that was not the case, and for good reason. We got great competition right now amongst all the top-tier teams in competitive fun, and boy, is it fun. It's showing over the last week here, the Deadeye Bounty League, the previous qualifiers. I cannot wait to see what happens these qualifiers in officially qualifier number 2. With that said, we got the round of 8 action going to be coming at you today. We're casting the top portion of the bracket, followed by the bottom portion of the bracket, series from each. The series we're choosing to cast first is Bad Monkey Gaming versus Nullstone Gaming, as you do see on your screen. And definitely this is expected to be a great best of 3. But also something else that's going on here recently on Honcast is, of course, the competition Newest Next Caster. We're trying to officially find the co-caster to go into DreamHack Summer 2015. And another top 8 candidate is on the cast today. With that said, I want to introduce my co-caster, Matthew Madical, as he's known by. Matt, how's it going, man?
Hi, Breaky. It's going pretty good. I'm super excited to be here. And shout out to everybody watching on Honcast right now. And going to do my best to give you guys competitive insight and the co-caster that you guys want to see.
Awesome. I'm looking forward to it, man. Now, we got the picks developing, of course. We're already in the next tier of bands, but we talk about these teams all the time. I want to talk about you just here for a second, Matthew. I want to learn a little bit more about who the hell are you, to be frank? No, who are you, and what is your on experience, real quickly?
All right, well, right now I'm currently the scrimcaster for Nullstone Gaming, and a little bit of my Han experience. I've been playing Han since the beta. I've been a member of the super beta team, and yeah, I mean, I love this game. I've been playing it since it came out for almost 5 years now, and always been an avid follower of Han Tour and Honcast. So while a lot of people might not know me, I do stream from time to time, and I've been quite familiar with the competitive scene for a while now, so
yeah,
hopefully I can give people an idea of what I'm capable of today.
I think it's going to be a fun day today, that's for sure. I'm looking forward to it. So, again, we got this first matchup. As you mentioned there, you're the official caster of Nullstone Gaming. Go figure, the first series we're casting today is Nullstone versus BMG.
Yeah, what do you know?
It's going to be plenty of a biased cast going on here. It's just going to be all about Nullstone here. 100%,
oh yeah, best
right?
team in on.
best team in America. We can at least say that. So, no, but let's start talking about this actual draft that we got. Yeah, we had an All-American cast today, man. That's awesome. We haven't had it in a while.
USA.
Quincy also. Anyways, the initial bands we were looking at. What were we? I had to join a little bit late. It was Tremble, Parasite.
Puppet Master and Warbeast.
Okay, well, there we go. And that makes sense, definitely nothing too out of the ordinary there. The picks, Midas into Behemoth, Moira into Madman, Magnus into Flux. So, what's standing out to you so far here, Matt?
Really, I mean, the Flux pick, he's really strong. He could be a great mid-hero, and obviously with Behemoth, there's this huge AoE synergy there for the Hellborn team. But at the same time, Nullstone Gaming, they love Midas, they love Myra, and BMG just let them pick 2 of their most favorite heroes. I know we see Fuzzy Sloth play Midas a lot mid, but I've also in recent scrims seen Asuka play Midas on the suicide role, and he's pretty damn good at it.
Yeah.
So
he doesn't. Yeah, Midas is interesting. If you figure his suicide potential would be pretty good, and it's solid, but a lot of teams tend to not really run the suicide Midas. They do prefer more of that middle Midas, perhaps just because of his potential. But yeah, Asuka playing here in the suicide, we'll see. Maybe one of these teams that does prefer to run it in that role. And go off of that. But, the interesting thing to me is that BMG, again, going with that Flux pickup. But like you're talking about, this wouldn't be out of the ordinary. But, again, they don't have Kraken anymore. Kraken now a part of Fresh, the first team to qualify, of course. Mighty Marcus instead in his place. And it's going to be interesting to see how he handles the hero here for Bad Monkey Gaming. As we see a Swiftblade pickup. Wow, 4th pick Swiftblade. Not often it gets that left open, but see how they respond.
So that's pretty good. I mean, he's a hero with a lot of early game potential as well as the potential to carry into later stages of the game. So I think it flows well with their team right now. I'm definitely curious to see what their last pick's going to be, if they're going to go with maybe like a dual core lineup or maybe just grab a jungler.
Yeah,
So
it seems like what you got just prefers to play that jungle. Of course, I gotta think we're gonna I know they like to run a Legionnaire actually quite a bit, so I wouldn't put that past them here. Maybe even like a Solstice. It seems like more the Tempest, not necessarily their kind of jungle here. I mean, Tempest, Ophelia, Parasite is still no, Parasite was banned. That's right. But you got a lot of options here to say the least. Hell, we even know Lord
definitely
Sal
do.
Forest is another one that he's done before in the jungle. So we're gonna find out here
Right.
shortly.
Definitely a lot of options here still. So I have 12 seconds. No sense in speculating. We're gonna find out here.
It's gonna be another Swift Blade. There we go.
Ooh, so you called it. There we go. We got the Legionnaire. So they are gonna be running their standard lineup here.
Yeah.
And
How do you think that's gonna work out for them? The Legionnaire pickup there.
let's see here. Depends on where they decide to put the Midas.
Got a Midas.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still not sure as to how they're gonna lane it. So maybe
I think it is
just
going
give
to be
us-
the Midas Suicide here. You got Magnus. You got Magnus middle, I would think, and then Moira Swiftblade bottom. Well, I mean, they could go aggressive too. I wouldn't put that up past them to possibly try some aggressive trialing. Maybe something like a Moira Magnus or Moira Swiftblade even top with the Legionnaire. They do like to run an aggressive dual lane with Beaverbanger as the carry. A lot of the time, I know as well. So there are options here. That's going to keep BMG guessing, I think.
definitely. And let's see, Hellborn team still got their last pick coming out here. And really, the only carry potential they have is in Madman, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see them pick up something else here.
Yeah. Doesn't seem like the usual. Yeah, BMG, man, they've been struggling. This is a team that won the World Finals, but again, they did a roster replacement in Mighty Marcus. Nothing against him.
That they
He's
did.
been a solid player. He's definitely had some good results for them in these games, but they lost in the first round last weekend in the DreamHack Qualifiers. The team disbanded 2-0, and then they lost this last week to Fresh, 3-2 in the Deadeye Bounty League. So they're just looking for some kind of momentum here. We'll see if they get it against Nullstone, but how about that Alonia final pick? And actually, is that going to be Baltazar Alonia? Oh my God, it looks like it
does
may
look
be
like
here.
it will be, yeah.
Unless they swap at the last second?
And I know in that Deadeye Bounty, the Mint versus BMG, Cracky definitely said he had something to prove there, so he went extra hard in that game.
Yeah.
But,
yeah.
Yeah, there was an interview floating around with he did.
Yeah.
So
All right, so here we go. That's how it's going to finish. And sure enough, we do see Baltazar does end up on the Alonia. And has BMG ran an Alonia before, Quincy? It's only been played 6 games, but I want to say they've actually done it maybe even a couple times that we have on record at least. So it's not necessarily a completely radical pick by them, but still. I mean, what do you know much about Alonia? Do you think this hero's got potential?
I'm not sure. I mean, I know she
Okay.
puts out insane damage. She has a disable and the flash freeze, and if it's Baltabar's on her, she's gonna have a lot of farm. So
Yeah.
Staff of the Master are able to flash freeze an entire team. It synergizes well with the Behemoth and the Flux. I definitely think it could work. That's for sure.
Yeah. They definitely picked a farming hero potential that will synergize very well with the team. I think that's a great point you made there with the Flux on top of the Behemoth. It's all about that wombo combo. You see right there, Quincy making the point. All 6 of the games on record, sure enough, are by BMG. So that's where it does come into play. They're the one team that does run it, kind of like the Riftwalker. Pretty much a similar story as well.
I mean, overall, I'm a huge fan of the hero, so I'm definitely excited to see her in this matchup.
Yeah.
And is she going to be babysat? Because it's Baltazar, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, she's at least going to go top. Whether or not Andromeda's going to follow her up there. I mean, she is ranged, obviously, and in this case, going to be going up against the Suicide Magnus. So I don't think necessarily needing to be babysat is something here, but
No. Yeah, they're probably going to rotate out. She can handle that lane with ease.
yeah.
And Flux Midas. I'm glad they didn't put the Magnus mid, because Flux is extremely strong hero mid. I mean, he's just pretty much unkillable, and he would be able to harass him out pretty easily. So this is going to be an even matchup in the mid lane, at least.
Yeah, the Midas being played by Fuzzy Sloth in the end, going to be going up against Boxy on Flux. How about that, too? That's also kind of interesting. They will switch up the roles a little bit. So that's what we're talking about. They don't have Crack anymore, who's used to playing the Flex. But they're going to give it to Boxy, apparently. Mighty Marcus actually will end up on the Suicide Madman, something that Boxy plays very frequently, or is known to play. So that's a little intriguing here to see how that maybe. But again, that's the impact of having a new player on the team. It's going to screw up a little bit as far as what you're so used to doing with the rules. Oh, top lane, though. They're looking to kill this Magnus early on. Oscar does have boots. We'll see if he can somehow make a. He's going to have to stun right there. Yeah, he's going to have to stun and then try to run.
Ooh,
Behemoth
nice
with the
lava
fissure,
surge.
though. That's going to maybe. No, he won't even try.
He was afraid. He didn't want to waste the mana if he wasn't going to land the wall.
Excellent.
Well, nice try, though. Magnus already level 2, so
Yeah,
definitely well on his way here.
Yeah. But they're making a point, though. They're going to keep him occupied. They know he doesn't have mana now, so.
Oh, bot.
In trouble. Bottom lane, going to be fine for now, but. How about that? Mighty Marcus already level 3, actually.
Yeah, he's been playing extremely aggressive down here, and so Beaverbanger on Swiftblade, he hasn't taken the bait and gone for the Blade Fury or any kind of aggressive match, and they don't have a Rev Ward either, so maybe that's why.
Yeah. Get that dust here sooner than later, I'm sure, is something that Nullstone's going to be thinking about, but for the time being, obviously not the case just yet, so. Swiftblade, though, being played by Beaverbanger, of course, they're their go-to carry player. Is going to start calming it down now a little bit. But, yeah, I would think, I wasn't necessarily paying attention to it, but Madman may have got a pull-off from the beginning to allow him to get so many levels and whatnot early on in this laning phase. But in the end, we'll see how that continues to do. Legionnaire doing his thing in his jungle, though. What you got, don't expect him to necessarily be ganking here early on, unless, again, they try to maybe go for the Madman for a kill, but not even necessary, so. See Magnus kind of roam. Magnus is like, yeah, I'm done with that top lane. Not much I can do up there.
Yeah, he's going to make good use out of it. He's going to start stacking the Ancients, and with Legionnaire on the team, they'll be able to take it pretty early.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I'm just keeping an eye on this Madman. I mean, he still has a ward. He doesn't even, oh, he finally did place it there. And he's got an Invis rune, so, I mean, he's getting much better experience than Magnus up here.
Yeah. So, as far as, we were talking about Alonia a little bit, you mentioned the idea of even something like a Staff of the Master. It's very effective for continuing that AoE synergy, the flash freeze on everyone, the fact that it comes back with the Absolute Zero. Pretty cool tool of it. What do you think? What do you think we should maybe expect in Alonia earlier on in the game, though? At this time here.
It's hard to say. I mean, I definitely think he's just gonna stick to farming. It looks like I'd like to see him get active. Maybe when Flux hits 6, he'll start roaming and try to set something up. Because she definitely has early game kill potential, and I think, I mean, with the lineup they chose, they may have to get active early. I mean, I don't want to say that they have no chance in the later stages, but I mean, Swiftblade definitely has the supporting team to take the advantage in later stages, I think.
Yeah. I mean, it's... sorry.
No, so yeah, I really think the pressure is going to be on BMG to get active early. As soon as they start getting level 6 on these core heroes like Flux and Alonia, I want to see them get active.
And it seems like, you know, it's almost as if BMG's done a similar strategy before. Again, maybe not necessarily all the same heroes, but they have the jungle stacked up, right? I mean, just look at this. Look at Alonia's jungle presence here. She's going to be able to go through all these triple stack camps. They rotate Behemoth into the lane, and that's going to be massive farm for Alonia. You see right here, there's a couple of Wild Hunters, so of course a little unfortunate, but it's honestly could have been much worse at the same time. So.
Totally, yeah. Yeah, she's making a mess of this jungle for sure.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize she had that type of potential. But yeah, and that definitely opens up to Behemoth. When now they still have Andrew up here, so Magma's still level 2. I mean, Andrew's doing a great job. She's managed to box out the Magmas and stack the entire jungle for Alonia. So having a good time, that's for sure. A Hellborn team right now.
Yeah, and that's where you got to look at Nullstone Gaming. Again, this is not a odd strategy from BMG. Again, maybe with the hero and Alonia, but they're known for doing this all the time. They stack up the jungle to an extent at least, and then depending on the carry hero, for the most time, he's usually able to go in like this. But yeah, usually it's maybe not as powerful as this. But actually, bottom lane, is he in trouble? He is. Man is maybe going to fall right for a Bloodlust. Oh my god, yes he is. Beaverbanger with the kill. So sure enough, Legionnaire eventually comes over with the taunt.
Yep,
Takes care
he
of
aimed just in time too. because Swiftblade used the Blade Frenzy early, so Madman just stalked away to get out of it, and then that's when Legionnaire came in right after the stock was used. So
They didn't even have dust there, so that was just simply
yeah, they got him to burn the stock cooldown, and then Legionnaire came in on him.
okay. So able to capitalize off of that. So yeah, Mighty Marcus, he's been playing aggressive down there, but finally does fall. So we'll see if that maybe changes the playstyle a little bit or not. I mean, he has a bottle though, he comes right back in and gonna continue to farm with it. So yeah, not too surprised, I guess, as far as that's concerned. So Midas, how's he doing here in the middle lane? 21-10 versus a Flux who's 35-13. Holy crap. Boxy's doing pretty damn good here. So, I mean, you said it as actually middle lane, are they going to go for a gank? They are. But is he going to be too defensive here? More trying to position. She is going to go in with the Shards of Harkon, but again, Flux, as usual, very tanky. Yeah, you do not want to commit too much in the end. So even with the TP, that whoever that was ends up canceling it, realizing it's not necessary. But, yeah, I mean, how about that, though? Flux is dominating, really, this middle lane matchup here.
He's kind of not in the skill set, but in like the ability to. To put it better, Flux is very similar to Midas, I think. The reason they're both strong early game in lane is because they're so tanky and with the range. Most range heroes don't have that tank ability, so they can easily get boxed out, you know what I mean, or get harassed. So I just think that Flux just does it a little better than Midas. I mean, Midas can burst down heroes, but definitely not Flux. He's too strong.
Yeah.
Now we see Alonia here.
Oh, yeah, Lonia's coming over. Wow. Failed Rot. Early failed Rot on Baltazar.
This is perfect, though. This is what I want her to do. She's level 7, and so is Flux. I mean, I imagine they would wish to get more than just one, but if they wanted, they could kill her with a double ult right now, both of them. Able to close the gap and just extreme burst damage.
There we go. They're going to go for right there. Flash Freeze comes out. The Absolute Zero is going to be enough. It follows up. Yes, it will. Puts down, what is that called? That's the Frigid Field. That's right. Yeah, it goes down and sure enough guarantees a kill. So yeah, called it. That's the double ulti coming out. And Fuzzy Sloth, even with the reaction that he had, still not enough.
Yeah, he's tanky, but he's not Eidolonia level 8 nukes tanky.
Yeah. Not many heroes would be. Yeah.
Swift Slash is coming up bottom. Madman's getting chased into the tower, but he's going to get away. Yeah, Swiftly popped his ult there. He almost had the Madman. He got the stock off last second.
That's big. I mean, it's maybe just underestimated the damage. He doesn't have crit yet or anything like that, so it's not like he was hoping for a crit to come out right there. But speaking of Madman actually going back in for a kill, stalking around. No, he's not going to go to finish him off. Instead, he's going to try to run away right here, as he knows Legionnaire's nearby, and of course Mora even coming in, but no. Madman goes the other direction. So, well played by Mighty Marcus, I guess, ultimately getting away.
Yeah, he I mean, it's hard not to see red there. Oh, I want to kill on the Swiftblade, and he played it really smart. He didn't overextend, so definitely kudos there.
Yeah. So we're going to get a pretty good idea here now to kind of answer that question of what Alonia may look to go for. Again, it's going to be interesting. Will he go for more of the utility style, well, maybe like the tablet here, even a portal key for initiation purposes, or will we see something like that Grimoire, or even like an icon of the... I mean, there's just so many options. It's just really going to be up to Baltazar how he feels with this game.
Yeah, there are a ton of options, honestly, for him. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes for an icon, because they are going to look to get active early. And there's going to probably be portal keys coming out on Behemoth and Flux relatively soon, so she's not going to need that. So I would think that an icon would be a really strong item here if they continue to pressure, build it up, because they don't want to take it too late, in my opinion. So that would be the smart choice. But
look at Alonia again coming down with the Veiled Rot right here. And now it's Swiftblade's turn to be in trouble. He is already pretty low. It's going to be... Oh, actually has an Invis as well. I was kind of wondering what the deal was. Now, Swiftblade stuttered there a little bit. And he picked up on that. So that's unfortunate.
Well, they have a Revelation Ward right there, too. Baba Ganoush just would have spotted them out.
Wow. Yeah, no, I saw the word
I just noticed it.
Yeah, it's hidden in the trees right there. Interesting.
So definitely, they have the upper hand now. They know Alonia's roaming in here, and... It's funny. Good thing he didn't accidentally right-click. Oop.
There's the opening. Absolute Zero comes out. It's going to be a quick personal injury, but at what cost right here? Down goes Madman. You see Alonia's now in a lot of trouble. That Mana Center going to do work against her, that's for sure. And she goes down as well. So, yeah, they knew it. And you also got to question BMG there a little bit. It's like they were even... Alonia was scouting there for a while. I feel like she at least saw another hero there. They knew Swiftblade was also nearby. yet they still went for the opening, and it clearly backfired.
Yeah, totally. And it could be the fact that Magnus hasn't really had much of a presence here, so maybe they it feels like they forgot that he was in the game because he really came and set that up. I think Flux might have been able to save Alonia there if he didn't come in with that double lava surge stun.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a good heads up with that Rev Ward. Really set up that whole play because it would have went completely differently had they not known Alonia was down there.
Absolutely. No, yeah, I'm glad you picked up on that because, yeah, I just thought it was maybe just him bumping into something and figuring something was there, but no, that Rev Ward hiding in the trees. Again,
oh, yeah, that too.
Poor Madman.
That was funny when you bump in with an Invis hero
or
something like that. It's just like one of those moments.
It's like, wait a second, was that me misclicking or was that something there? Yeah, you got to be careful with that, definitely. So, look at Behemoth though, 2,300 gold saved up. Root of Z is gonna have that portal key here.
Yeah, and the low cooldown on both Flux's ult and let's see, Alonia's. I guess it gets shorter. It's pretty long right now.
Yeah.
Oh, top lane they did collapse onto Root of Z, so.
I'm sorry, Behemoth. I'm sorry.
Still got enough for the portal key striders, but if you wanted it.
Yeah. There you go. He's going to buy the portal key, and yeah, by the time he's up, should be able to get the striders as well. Again, that's one of the big benefits that's been proven more and more lately. Behemoth, he does not need a whole lot of stats. I mean, he can rush that portal key and be very, very, very powerful with it. So, look at it. I just love this Alonia strat though. Again, back into the jungle, taking out all the stats. It's almost Dampier-like.
Yeah, and just doing a hell of a job. Over 400 GPM. I mean, just 2-1-0. So a lot of that's coming from this creep farm.
Yeah,
it's impressive.
Let's see, clearing more here. So. Again, 2,000 gold saved. Now, something tells me it's going to be something like a portal key on it. Just the way, you figure if it's going to be an icon, at least would have had the glowstone by now. So.
Yeah, for sure. And a portal key's not bad. She's a squishier hero, even with all this farm. You can see she only has 800 HP, so positioning is going to be super duper important on her. I just didn't think that it was the type of item that Balthazar would buy, but there you go. It's going to be a good item on her for sure.
Well, yeah. See, I agree, but. It's a good item on her, but with the role she's playing, I just don't know. I mean, this makes a statement that they are going to compete for now. They're not competing any bit to try to transition into that eventual late game. They're competing for the now. And sure, I mean, that probably makes sense with their lineup ultimately, but, will this pay off is the big question. So.
I think if they can start pressuring towers, and they could do it right now, they could group up. And it's like, if they can get the Hellborn or the Legion team to group up, then you follow up with the Flux, Behemoth, Alonia. That's how they're going to win. Oh, go ahead.
Look at that. Minus. Oh, he gets away. He did not get stunned by the fissure stun. And the transmit on top of that. That was big right there. Behemoth, I think he was a little slow right there on the fissure stun. But look at Alonia coming in with a portal key. He's going to say, you ain't kidding away in the long run. We'll finish them off. And the TPs, by the time they come in, they're just way too late. So. Well, there's the portal key coming into play, at least initially. Now they know she has it, but it did cost them a kill.
So basically, long story short, I think the key is going to be Hellborn teams start taking objectives before they get the Shrunkens on the Legion team. As soon as they pick up the Shrunken heads, the entire Hellborn team's damage is going to be nullified. And they need to stop using, they got to kill on Midas, but they used all 3 of their huge ultimates for one person. They really need to take gold away from more than one person, and maybe group up themselves and force Nullstone to group up so they can, get these huger team fights off and force the team fights, kind of.
Yeah. I do
Nullstone's pretty smart.
I had to switch. There we go. Now it should be good. Yeah, apparently the team's on the wrong side here on the in-game overlay. So, confusing some people. There we go. It should be fixed now, though. Bottom tower going to be denied right there. But, so going on top of that idea with BMG of actually top lane Magnus, nope, not going to get away. Frigid Field comes out once again, and there's another Glacial Spike. I mean, how much you can just spam that ability is ridiculous. But so there's actually a couple things I wanted to bring up here, though. One is the Moira. Moira's, she's become a top tier support now. I mean, you could argue, like, even the best support option nowadays on the competitive scene. But she's extra good here, I think, for several reasons. One, especially being against an Alonia. Alonia is a hero that's going to probably have a pretty high intelligence, pretty high mana pool, and that Mana Sunder is going to be extra good against her, especially since she's so reliant on trying to spam her abilities. On top of
definitely. That's a huge issue that's going to be on later, but I think the way that Hellborn's playing right now, it would be hard for her to get that off unless Myra kind of gets a portal key of her own. Because she's going to be playing with exceptional positioning this game, being that she's probably going to get killed instantly by a Magnus Midas or even a Lego, anybody really, besides Myra. So it's going to be hard for her to get that off. But if she does, yeah, it'll definitely have an impact.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah, they're going to stack the engines. I want to also look at Swiftblade, though. Again, he went the Abyssal Skull first, and honestly, for a short lane carry Swiftblade, we've actually seen him be going like something like even the Rune Cleaver recently, or maybe a little bit more greedy with the farm, maybe even like a straight Firebrand first. But he did choose to go the Abyssal Skull first, and I think that's probably for the better, honestly, with how, again, active this game has been. How do you feel about his build here?
Yeah, I think it makes sense. He can still farm fairly well. You can see him blade fearing in the jungle right now, and he doesn't. I'm not a fan of Rune Cleaver on a Swiftblade. Oh, up top, Legionnaire just picked off Andro. He's got his portal key now. So, but yeah, I think that his item build is pretty good. He's gonna have to be active at least in defending towers, because as soon as Hellborn starts grouping up, they can't just give away all the objectives.
Yeah. Speaking of that, bottom lane Swiftblade. They use the Veiled Rod to get past the water side. They're going to collapse right on top. Shockwave to open. There's a figure. Again, he couldn't get it off, though, in time. He got the spin off first in Swiftblade, the Blade Frenzy, and down it goes Behemoth. However, Swiftblade, he uses the Swift Slashes, and Madden's in trouble. No, it's not going to be enough. Good attempt from Beaverbanger. Magnus getting there just a half a second late. And in the end, he falls in the 1-for-1 exchange. So it's still worth it for BMG right there with Behemoth for Swiftblade, but
yeah,
that was close.
It takes 2 ults, and it's an upgrade. It's not the Midas this time. It's the solo kill, but it's a level 13 Swiftblade, so it definitely pays off a little more. I'd still like to see them do something to force the grouping up of the Legion team and get a good use out of the Flux ult, because they haven't really had a chance to. And he's not going the portal key route. He's going in Sanitarius, so it seems like they're going to be trying to put him up on the front to kind of bait picks onto him. It's all going to come down to, I think, if Nullstone can be disciplined enough and kind of just play it extremely passively. And
yeah, I think a lot of people have just come to realize, like, this is really the new build for Flux. I mean, the idea of a portal key just seems so smart, and its synergy with, like, an Engineer and a Kraken, that ultimate wombo combo, it definitely would make sense still, you could say, but I think it's just people realize, I think, Sanitarius again, Kraken, we got to thank for that. That it's so powerful synergy with him, especially with that Magnetic Surge. Magnetic Surge is a 4-second cooldown. It's only 25 mana for this hero, and it's also percentage based on strength and physical damage. And you look at what in Sanitarius, it does right there with the activation. Well, no, it doesn't give strength. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, no, it does. I was like, wait a second.
And 31 damage.
Yeah, I was reading out the points.
That's insane.
Okay. So basically, the point being, yeah, it's like a steroid for that ability alone with the auto attacks.
Absolutely.
It's ridiculous damage that he can actually put out. So.
Yeah, not to mention, you don't even really need a portal key on Flux to get the effect of his ultimate. I mean, as long as he can be anywhere on the map and still use it effectively, as long as he's positioned properly. So.
Glowstone picked up on Alonia. Now, I assume this is going to turn into... Actually, here we go with the Ancients right here. Behemoth! Oh, it's not enough damage though for a kill. And he's by himself currently. Flux pulling them in. But they're not going to be able to chase them down, or will they? Alonia finds Mora. The Absolute Zero will cut through her and eventually get her killed at least. But at what cost here? Legionnaire jumps back in with minimal life. No, the swap from Andromeda, but it's still not... Oh, yes, he does live. What a swap from Andromeda at the last second. Now Magnus in trouble. Big stop from Behemoth right there. Magnus goes down. A double tap for Baltazar. Stays alive throughout it all. That swap from Andromeda was absolutely huge timing.
Definitely. That was massive, dude. And, Hellborn team they played that really safe. They didn't overextend when Behemoth missed the Fisher block. They kind of just bided their time, and then the Flux ultimate set everything back up in mid.
Yeah, that was definitely could have been a crazy fight for both of the teams, but in the end, it's worked out very well for BMG. And yeah, that was a little confusing. Alonia, for a second there, she actually bought a Warhammer as well, but I think
saw
that was a
it
misclick because she sold it right away. And is now going to use that. I guess I would have put it past her to maybe get a Shrunken Head first, but I don't know. This doesn't seem like a Legion team that's like, oh, I need to get a Shrunken Head against very quickly, really. So.
Yeah. That could be the icon, but I really hope it's Staff. Because,
oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Staff of the Master is great on a lot of heroes, but that is intense on her. It just makes her so much stronger to be able to stun an entire team in a team fight. It's not just a damage boost. It's huge in terms of disable. So
Yeah.
let's cross our fingers. She has enough, actually, if she wanted to build a staff already. So
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's going to be. I mean, 50% would be again. Okay, so yeah, it's only been seen
Okay.
6 times. So 3 of the 6 games we've seen a staff. Yeah, it is just such a powerful ability for her. With how
yeah, it gives her about the same amount of survivability as an icon would, but with the extra effect. So yeah, there's no reason why not to.
Oh yeah, and Icon too. She would have got that before the portal cleave, and I think it's safe to say.
Absolutely.
I mean, you want to start adding up those charges, of course, as soon as possible. So, heading back to base right now. She's level 16 as well, so this is going to be pretty damn good timing if she does in fact go that staff of the mastery here. So,
This is huge. This is what I want from the Hellborn team. They're going to group up here, and it's going to force the Legion team to group up if they want to decide to defend. And this is where you're going to see the huge wombo combo. Nullstone's done a good job of just avoiding it thus far, but they don't want to give up a free tower. So
Moira in the background, quickly killed off the illusion that is. So not going to be able to do much there. Again, Alonia has the staff now, headed towards bottom because Swiftblade's down here. Oh, they get the top tower kill. You can see the Legion team, even with the numbers. I mean, they had several people here, but they just were not. They were not ready. They know it's dangerous, so they don't.
yeah,
even try.
absolutely not. And then Magnus is finally nearing his portal key. It would be at 22 minutes in the game. He's like 2/3 of the way there, and that's going to be big important for them to get the jump to prevent the huge. Like if Hellborn gets the initiation and the jump, they're gonna take the fight 9 out of 10 times, I think.
I will say, you know, Swiftblade choosing not to get an item like an Energizer here early on, I almost think is a little bit of a mistake. I mean, not only is it more stats, but honestly, that phase effect for yourself and the team is actually pretty powerful in the speed burst and amongst those team fights. So I'm not saying, yeah, it's like the end of the world, but a little curious as to him passing that up here.
Yeah, for some reason he seems to have not. He's kind of like off on his own tangent, just trying to farm and secure the late game for them. So maybe that's the reasoning behind it, because he hasn't really gotten with his allies at all. Like they've come to help him, but you could see he was not having any intentions on teleporting top.
Yeah.
So maybe they just wouldn't get the use out of it. But I definitely think it would be beneficial. So Hellborn's going to force them to group up here soon.
Yep. You see Alonia trying to maybe scout something out of a very low life illusion. Not going to really get too much out of it. Quick kill onto it. So the real Alonia, though, is going to find Legionnaire right here. Opens up with an absolute 0.
Kind of missed it.
And a complete whiff. So he's going to have to portal key away and be fine. But
look at that. That's the 60-second cooldown.
Exactly. Not a big deal. Not that big of a deal that you missed that. Madman, you know, he hasn't been having this is actually kind of interesting. Madman has been... Behemoth was taking up a lot of the farm. Now, he got the portal key, but it still seemed like they're prioritizing Behemoth farm, especially compared to the Madman. But now he's at the top lane. He is picking up some decent GPM near 284. It's actually middle lane, so Flashes come out. We do see a TP coming in. It's going to be a quick kill on Andromeda first, though. Flux, he's going to go down with the decapitate right there. And Madman and Alonia, they get caught with the Arcane Vortex. Alonia does outlays. Behemoth sucks, goes in with a shockwave, but he dies shortly after. They lock down Alonia big time. There's that Mana Sunder that I was talking about. She can do nothing right now. The ulti's still on cooldown anyways, and Nullstone Gaming, a 4-for-0 exchange. They get the tower kill, and that's probably the biggest fight so far. And now Swiftblade, he's going to start scaling pretty well.
Yeah, they picked the perfect time to fight there. Nullstone definitely finally capitalized on it. Alonia TP'd in, and her ult's on cooldown, and that's a huge part of her presence in the fights. So,
you know, again, I talked about the Mana Center, but on top of that, again, the Arcane Vortex she used right away as Alonia came in. So Alonia, I'm pretty sure, maybe got one Glacial Spike off, or maybe a Frigid Filth, but that's it. In fact, I'll pull up the replay right here to show you guys. It doesn't look like too much action is going to be happening right now, but yeah, if Alonia is going to be that locked down in a fight, and again, if one hero and Mora and main support can do that, you might be in for some trouble here if you're BMG. So.
Yeah, that comes down to, I mean, she TP'd into the fight. It's not like she had really the support of her teammates. Two of them are already dead, right? And when she stands alone, she can't really do anything.
Yeah. Now, I went back to the live action because they actually went to jump on a Swiftblade right there, but Moira came in with the Ephemeral Forge and scared them off, but they're not done just yet. Alonia goes back in, actually. He's saying, now I get my burst off. But Swiftblade, he uses a spin, and down goes Madman. He didn't even use a shrunken head that he just got right there. Transmit comes out of the back. Legionnaire jumped in. He does not, oh, he already did decapitate. He's going to go down. Here's an eruption, though, coming out from Oscar. Behemoth off to the side. He goes in, but he's waiting for the Arcane Vortex. He finally stuns, but now almost traps Flux in here a little bit. And Swiftblade comes back in with the Swift Slashes. I don't think that was the prettiest fight for BMG, and back-to-back big-time fights for Nullstone Gaming.
Quincy called it. He said Alonia's great, but she's lost every game against Swiftblade, and you see right there, her flash freeze is only an immobilize, so he spins out of it every time, and no follow-up. Then there's no damage able to be done. Yeah. Wow.
Well, at least Behemoth gets something there. As takes him out, but actually it might come at a cost. Midas maybe doesn't have another transmute. Oh, barely TP's out in time.
Oh man, nice escape.
Yeah.
So,
but that's so true though. Yeah, the Swiftblade with that spin. I mean, that's where you do gotta question the pickup of Alonia a little bit. It's we're seeing it now. Maybe a little more hindsight, sure, but it's pretty obvious at the same time. Swiftblade has a magic community built in with that spin ability.
would just stop initiating on the Swiftblade. Any of the other targets would be better. I just don't know why they're picking him. I mean, he's not even the one they need to worry about, because it's the shrunken heads coming out on the other heroes that's going to really, prevent them from doing anything. Swiftblade already has a shrunken head, so killing him isn't going to really do anything.
Yeah.
They need to lock down the rest of the team, and it's either really good positioning by Legion side and not giving up those heroes for kills, or just Hellborn making bad choices in who they're collapsing on.
Yeah. Yeah, and again, looking back at the fight right here with the replay, Madman, his decision too, he kind of charged in. I think he got Mana Sunder right off the bat, but still, he did not use his Shrunken Head going in. And especially this, when you just get your Shrunken Head and it's at 10 seconds, I mean, you got to use that before you even really engage in the fight, honestly. And again, I know it's easy to say as a spectator, from our point of view, but I just really don't think there's an excuse right there to not do it. I mean, you're engaging into the fight. Just use it off the bat. I mean, if you try to react with it, then something like that will happen, and you get bursted down eventually. So,
especially against the quick stuns that they have, you can't see a Legionnaire taunt coming or a Lava Surge. I mean, those are pretty much instant abilities. You're not going to be able to.
To be fair, Legionnaire taunt is physical, so even with a chunk of that wouldn't matter. But yeah, there's still plenty that would take care of it. Now, we've kind of split fights on right here. Aloni gets picked out to the side. The Shockwave is not enough, but actually Madman will clean up Legionnaire. But again, they lost Aloni and Andromeda in the meantime, and now here they come to chase down more. Behemoth going to fall. And you see Arcane Vortex catches Madman in the background. That Shrunken Head going to be wearing off now. But he's just trying to find a solo kill on a Moira, who actually is level 12, by the way. So Moira's actually been able to bulk up, power supply, Steve boost. This is not a typical main support that you can feel good on just killing quickly.
It's the team fights, man. Their team fights came way later. So like all the early kills went in favor of the Hellborn team, but she's been around for the last two huge team fights when everybody's on the Hellborn team's level 8 or 15, 16. So all that experience is going to boost her up quick.
That's an interesting stat right there. Midas, 16% hero damage now. That's pretty much ties for apparently a record, at least if he finishes with around there. But as far as overall hero damage in the game, we just seem to be getting more and more of these stats, man, that are just coming out here. I like it. Frosto Skull just finished on Flux in the meantime.
Yeah, he's got nasty farm. I mean, he's been punching it in. It's over 400 GPM, and he's really hard to kill. You saw when they collapsed on him by the Ancients how long it took him to kill 3 versus 1. So I still think there's hope in here, but now they got one of the Shrunkens completed on Midas. Magma's finishing his up about almost really soon, as well as Legionnaire. I think once they complete those, the window's closed. So they're going to have to react really soon now.
Yeah, but this does also definitely go back to BMG and the idea, especially with Alonia, that she and as a result the team kind of went for more of a we need to make a statement now decision. And again, early in the game, it seemed like it was working. Alonia was moving around the portal key, getting a couple of kills here and there. But I mean, so these big team fights now break out, and both have been in favor of Nullstone Gaming for one reason or another. So, and now they got that pretty solid lead working off of. And it seems like they're just ultimately going to scale better into the later game stage, especially when a hero like Madman is just not really doing the best here. 1, 3, and 4 only from him. Well, he's about 300 gold per minute. So again, as far as GPM go, he hasn't been doing horrendous by any means, but just not showing in terms of his impact at this time. And clearly he's not scaling like a Swiftblade either, so that's the other important thing here. For the Midas scouting out Conga right there. Midas going the Shrunken Head on top of the portal key, so for obvious reasons. Whoa! Is that actually a full... Wow! Swiftblade's farmed, man. Has a Frostwolf Skull now on top of the Assassin Shroud. First off, though, a Frostwolf Skull, that is not a typical pickup for a Swiftblade. What do you take up? What is your take on that?
I mean, just bulking up so that, I mean, it's just magic damage, right? So mainly, they don't really have any physical presence. So, I mean, in that sense, I don't know if it makes the most sense. Maybe he figures he's going to slow down Madman. So auto attacks, which is like their only physical presence. So I don't know. He feels like he doesn't need like a ton of damage against this team, and really 800 HP on Andro, and Alonia is extremely squishy, no armor.
Yeah, it is a little interesting to me. I mean, at this point, it usually is a case of like we could see one item or another. And actually going to jump right here with the Assassin Trap. Bounces to creep once, but it doesn't matter. Alonia drops so quickly. She does have a buyback, by the way, as Behemoth is off to the side, so we could still definitely see a fight right here. They don't know Behemoth is here just yet.
I'm not sure how long he's going to be able to stay hidden there.
Yeah.
Don't Legionnaire spot him out right now?
Oh my god.
Oh no.
No, he jumps in, he says screw it, let's go. Alonia bites back, so by the Arcane Vortex immediately though. In comes the Eruption from Magnus in the background, stuns onto Alonia. So again, she's somewhat locked down right off the bat. She gets her absolute zero off, however. Magnus in the front lines, he's in trouble. Spin from Swiftblade in the background, doing some damage to Behemoth, gets the kill. But now it's to get the hell on out of there. Legionnaire, he gets pulled back in. Right now it's a Magnus for Behemoth. Legionnaire's like, fine, I'll fight you guys. Taunt comes out, and Decapitate to follow shortly. I'm sure Flux is still just tanky enough, and he will be tanky enough. As Legionnaire ends up falling. Mora now, she's cut out, slowing down. Swiftblade wants to go back in, actually, maybe go for a kill. He's going to go for it. He opens with the crit. And Alonia, yes, the spin's going to do it in the end. What balls right there, showing by Beaver Banger. But it works out big time. The Mana Center to Madman. Moira survives, and down goes Madman as well. So once again, Nullstone Gaming comes out on top, and it's even more apparently. That's another double tap for Fuzzy Sloth when it's all said and done there.
Yeah, they knew they had to take that fight. Alonia bought back to come into that fight right there, and because she died without getting her ultimate off or anything, Swiftblade just completely bursted her down quickly.
Yeah,
and I really think that they knew that was like, if they needed that fight to really get themselves a little bit of momentum and really get back into this game. But I don't think Shrunken Head's coming out on all of the heroes now. They don't have anything that can go through those. You know, they've been picking. And they've only been going for like single target ganks too, and I just don't think that that's the ideal thing you want to do when you pick a super duper AOE synergy team.
Yeah, no, we have yet to see like any kind of combination. We've yet to see a Flux and a Behemoth Shockwave, a Flux and Apple. There's been nothing as far as synergy goes here with team fights from BMG so far. No doubt that's an issue.
Yep. So maybe it's not their fault, but it's still an issue. I mean, whether it's Legion just playing smart, Nullstone Gaming won't really go in unless they see somebody on the Hellborn team blow an ult prematurely. Then they're going to go and push the fight. So I don't know really what else BMG could have done to force fights early game. Maybe pressure towers. It might have worked, but I mean, it's kind of late for that now. Yeah.
Got to credit to Nullstone, though, at the same time. They've been playing it very well themselves. And again, Beaverbanger especially a little bit different with the item build, but hey, it's working out here. The Frostal Skull into that Geometer's Bane. So, yeah, again, wanted to really, I think the idea of tanking up a little bit more with the health pool against magic damage is usually a pretty good idea. Now, they do have a little bit of physical presence with the Madman, and even the Flux, of course, to an extent. That Magnetic Surge is physical. It's actually Andromeda, quick kill on him with the Swift Slashes. In the background, they catch Flux as well. Flux is, again, so tanky, especially now with that Frosted Skull. He has to push them off, though, and it's just going to try to keep them away. He will survive in the long run with that Insanitarius, but now him being low on life, I mean, they're not going to be in a good spot to try to stop this Kongor, but may not have to, actually, as it seems like the Legion team is going to fall back. But, yeah, look at that, too. 810 XPM.
Yeah, he's almost level 25 already.
Jeez. Yeah, that's not a stat we talk about too often, but that is showing here. Wow. Yeah, he's, what, 4 levels higher than the Alonia. and anyone else in this game for that matter. So scaling
Wow.
very well. It's safe to say. But yeah, it goes back to, I think, though, again, not Mighty Marcus as a player necessarily, but more so Madman as the hero. Just how he has not been able to get the best farm, have the most impact this game, and is not able to scale necessarily like they would have liked him to. Going with an Alonia short lane carry, you know, with the backup plan of a Madman to scale to late game, it's kind of that idea, but clearly that's not working out as planned. However, they may kill Kongor here. This is close. Oh, they're going to get it.
Yeah, it looks like it. I like the point you're making about Madman. I mean, he was supposed to be that backup crutch, but I feel like if you're going with the team composition they went, maybe they should have just picked something else that could have had more of an impact early. I mean, it's easy to say that in hindsight, obviously, but yeah, they got Kongor, so he's got his core. Many used to say the Brutalizer Basher's all you need, or the Brutalizer Shrunken Head's all you needed on Madman, so let's see what they can do.
It is if you have that secondary carry though. They don't. Yeah. They're relying on him to main carry in the later phase. So yeah, normally I would agree with that statement, but it's just like that's not going to help at this. I mean, it's going to help, but it's not going to be the answer for BMG here. I think
it's true. All their core damage is magical, and the Shrunken Heads are real.
Yeah.
There's too many of them.
So I mean, but hey, we're positive people here, Matt. We're positive people. What?
Oh yeah.
What does BMG do here? Like I think the answer is again, just try to force a team fight, push a tower. I mean, there's still the first tower up at the bottom lane, as they are going to push it here. But I think that's the answer. Honestly, just group up, start pushing, force a team fight is probably their best bet, right?
Absolutely. They have Flux, and he's huge. He's still extremely tanky. Put him on the front line. Try to bait out Shrunken Heads. You have to get those Shrunken Heads on cooldown if you want to win a fight. So even if it means, you know, suiciding your Andromeda in some kind of Harry Carry play, you got to get him to waste it and then take the team fight. So I think that's like the really only hope, and it's going to be heavily reliant on misplay by Nullstone Gaming at this point.
I really wonder how much of our audience will know the name Harry Carey. I don't think many.
None?
Unfortunately. We're old, man. We're old compared to these kids that are tuning in here.
Huge Veiled Rots coming out.
Yeah, this is the... Oh, but they're going to run into an Invis Swift plate, though. He opens the Swift Slashes. He's like, I'm going to take you all out. Spin on top. Flux is dropping. Flux gets swapped at the last second. Mammoth's going toe-to-toe with Swift plate. Here's the Absolute Zero. Actually doing some pretty good damage, but not nearly enough. It's, as we keep on stating, it's just over and over. The Shrunken Heads, the magic immunity. It's just way too much. Alonia's basically... not useless, but not doing a whole lot in these fights. Madman goes down, and I think if you're BMG, you may throw in the towel here in the near future because you are just not scaling at all. That was with a token of life on Madman even, and it just did not paid off. I mean, the fact that they ran into an Invis Swift play, though, didn't help either, to be fair. But
really unfortunate, but I don't know why you want to fight in the river anyways. Like, don't look for ganks. Post up on the tower, get some ward vision behind the tower, and force them to defend. I'm pretty sure Legion would have never defended towers throughout like the first half of this game. If Hellborn just pressured them, they would have probably gotten free tier 2s and maybe had better map control, prevent the farm from getting so out of hand. But yeah, I mean, they tried to make something happen down there and just didn't go as well.
Went too many times for ganks instead of just the team fight pushes. I mean, we've still yet to see them group up and push a secondary tower. And at 40 minutes into the game, what do you expect to happen if you're BMG here, really? So,
yeah, you pick an early game team. And maybe the idea was to get ganks and then push towers, but...
Well, I mean, sure. I mean, again, that's an idea. And like, yeah, it is kind of a hindsight thing what we're talking about here. Like, hey, if they got those picks, like when they were trying to pick off Swimplay to the Ancients, if they got that pick, you know, obviously things could have been much different. But it came up short. It backfired on them ultimately. They committed too much. By the time they were all in, so was Nullstone ready to fight. They weren't ready. But if BMG's ready to take a fight, they have the advantage. I mean, you would feel like they do at least. With the Flux, with the Behemoth, Alonia on top of that to follow up with plenty of damage.
Yeah. Now, they did when Alonia was 7-0, but it's the tides have turned much in the last 20 minutes, so...
Yeah. Again, they're trying the veiled rod here, but yeah, basically Quincy's just giving out stat after stat that's just like Nullstone's going to win this game is pretty much where we're at. The Alonia, that was actually kind of interesting. 2-0 before 30 minutes, but 0-4 after 30 minutes. So again, it's a hero that's not going to take you into that late game stage. She's a very, I can carry sure to an extent, but it has to be sooner than later, and for obvious reasons. So. And they're playing Nullstone Gaming, which is notoriously known for going late game.
Yeah, and even if you take the early game against Nullstone, we've seen it time and time again where they don't give up, and like they manage to turn the games around right when you think they're out of it. So you're not in a good position when you're behind against them.
600 gold per minute about for Beaver Banger seems about right. He does get the wing bow eventually, and that's what I was kind of leaning towards earlier when we went that Frost Skull when we were first talking about that. But honestly, the more I'm realizing too, like again, the physical threat wasn't there yet, and it's still not there, frankly. But he's at a spot now where he just might as well get a 6th item, of course.
Yeah, I don't think it matters what items he buys at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, we got a Sheepstick on Midas, Storm Spirit on Magnus. Yeah. The Soul's Bulwark on Legionnaire, so I mean, the Swiftblade's critting these guys for millions of damage. They just have no health or armor, really.
Yeah, for BMG's sake, again, they are still hanging in there and just hoping that they finally get off a Wombo combo. And, you know, maybe if they do actually, I still think if they do get the Flux into a Behemoth Shockwave, ideally he would be a level 3 ultimate, so he needs that one more level to hit that, and then into an absolute 0. There's something there. There is something, but it's still very, very gloomy. They need that all to come together this late on in the game when they haven't been able to even come close yet.
And it's going to be hard to time it with Shrunkins. Maybe like a Behemoth Fisher to start it up. I still think they have to bait it out somehow. I don't think there's anything else to say.
Yeah. I get that, you know, you like to say, too, that, you know, they need a Sheepstick, a Hellflower, but that's not coming. I mean, they don't have the farm to make that happen. And you could also look at, you know, I'm not saying Boxy went the wrong choice here. It's actually even picks up a Shrunken Head now. He is a top farm at 400 gold per minute on his team, but maybe him going that Sheepstick, even the Hellflower would have been the better route here, needing him to play more of a catch initiator. Of course, he didn't even go the portal key either, so maybe that wouldn't make the most sense in the end, but I don't know. I'm just trying to think of things here. But he does get the Shrunken now on top, so just continuing.
Right, but they're not giving up. Both these teams are thirsty for that DreamHack ticket, so they're going to try. This is super important games.
Yes,
so I can't put it past them. They're still going to try their hardest. You never know. Maybe they get some Doombringers going on to Mighty Marcus or something.
It's not the new Doombringer, though. There's no charges yet, so it's still pretty bad now. Doombringer's pretty good, but...
Boxy might as well buy like a barbed armor now or something just to return some of this crazy damage that's coming out because he's so tanky. He doesn't really do anything besides get people out of position.
That's interesting you bring that up because I would have much rather seen that than a Shrunken Head here. Much rather seen that than a Shrunken Head at this point in the game. Where is a Shrunken Head going to be an item that's like, sure, it may keep himself alive a little bit longer, but actually Behemoth.
Yeah,
he gets caught here at the top lane. You see Magnus and Midas, but now they're going to get jumped themselves. But again, if you're this Hellborn team, we've seen this time and time again, backfire. So don't go too deep here. Magnus, he's running away and we'll be fine with this. So what I'm talking about, Moira coming in. Arcane Vortex ready to go. I'm sure not even going to use it right here. Stun going to come out. The swap onto Alonia. Going to at least save here, but guess what? It's like deja vu. Once again, overcommitting. And Alonia's going to fall on top of that. There's the vote to concede. Enough is enough, they say.
They finally did it. They finally baited out the Shrunken Heads. But then Alonia got picked off in the end. So.
Yeah. It's just obviously at that point, it's just too much. I mean, it was the stats were added up. The farm was there for the Legion team, and when that happens, it's you're not going to have much of a chance. So Nullstone Gaming, all the credit to them though, they did play that fantastic. I mean, in the fights, they were choosing the right targets. It seemed like they went the correct items. Really, there wasn't a whole lot of questions there in that, and that was just an all around a very well played game by Nullstone. I think there, Matt.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and BMG, their strategy was really transparent is the problem. Anytime you pick an early game aggressive team, right away the enemy team knows what you have to do to make the game win. So it's pretty clear we just kind of need to play passively and pick our fights extremely wisely and be careful to win. So like props to them for going out to picking that super aggressive team. We got to see Alonia, and she did shine early on, but also in game with the patience and perseverance.
Well, again, it's a case here for Bad Monkey Gaming. They're down 1-0 now in this best of three, so obviously still plenty of chance to come back. But they need to kind of figure something out here, because like I said, they lost the last week, and the team disbanded in the first round. They lost in their Deadeye Bounty League to Fresh here in this last week, and they're just on a losing streak here, post World Finals champions. And when are they going to find that groove once again that we know they're capable of, even with a new player? But maybe it's still going to be a little bit more time, but we'll see. We'll see what happens here. Coming up to game number 2. There is another game going on real quickly, guys. Here, I'll even pull up the brackets for you guys. So Reason Gaming versus Team Grief is actually happening right now, and just monitoring that real quickly. Looks like they may be heading into their second game even, so let me see if I can just get a score update on that. Not just yet. I'll have to figure that out. But anyways, point is,